Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Quick History. Today we're going to take a look at Russia leaving the war in 1917. As always, there's a free handout in the description below, and make sure you click on subscribe if you'd like to see more GCSE history based revision content. Let's get into the details. Early in the First World War, the Russians suffered two huge defeats to the German army at the Battle of Tannenberg and the Battle of the Manchurian Lakes. In response to these defeats, Tsar Nicholas II decided that he would go to the Eastern Front to lead his armies personally. This was a huge mistake for Tsar Nicholas II. First of all, he was a terrible military leader, and second of all, as the war went on and the Russian army began to suffer more and more defeats, blame was laid at the door of the Tsar. Throughout the war, he became a more unpopular character the longer it went on. To make matters worse, he had left the day-to-day running of Russia to his wife Tsarina Alexandra. Alexandra's favourite advisor was the famous Rasputin, who was hated by the Russian population. Conditions in Russia as effect of the war were not great. Before the First World War, much of the Russian population were peasants who grew their own food. However, with 15 million men in the Russian armed forces, there simply weren't enough men to grow sufficient food to feed the population. Starvation was rife amongst Russians during the First World War. Likewise, significant amounts of Russians who worked in the cities worked in coal factories. With men away at war, there weren't enough men to get coal out of the ground, which meant that fuel and energy was in short supply in Russia as well. To make matters even worse, there were 1 million dead Russian soldiers on the battlefield. This led to a perfect storm, which led to the Russian Revolution in 1917. As a result of the Russian Revolution, the Tsar was forced to abdicate his throne, and after the failure of a provisional government which tried to continue the war, Vladimir Lenin and his supporters, the Bolsheviks, seized power and set up a new communist government. One of the first orders of business for the new communist government was to seek peace with Germany. As a consequence for seeking peace with the Germans, the Russians were forced to sign the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. This treaty gave good farmland in Russia to the Germans, which helped alleviate some of the problems we faced as a result of the naval blockade. Furthermore, the treaty also broke the alliance between Russia, Britain and France. Germany were no longer encircled and no longer had to fight a war on two fronts. With Russia leaving the war, this appeared to be for Germany a breakthrough which could help lead to the end of the First World War in their favour. Join me in the next video where we're going to see how Germany were incorrect as America decided to join the war in 1917. I'll see you there.